everyone, I'm Sarah. Welcome to my channel. I was absolutely inundated with comments on my TikTok video, so I thought it would be a good idea to do a frequently asked questions video for you where I can answer all of your burning questions fully. Let's get into it. So the first question is a very basic question. What is TPN and why am I on it? So TPN is IV nutrition. It means it bypasses my digestive system entirely and I get fed straight into my bloodstream through a little line in my chest and it goes into my heart. I need to eat this way because I've got a condition called gastroparesis and I've also got intestinal failure. These two together means that my digestive system is mostly paralysed, so I can't digest food in the same way that you can. If I do try to eat normal food, I vomit it back up, I'm in excruciating pain, and sometimes I have a seizure. I had what's called an NJ tube for a little while, which was a feeding tube that went into my nose, through my stomach and into my intestines, and I was fed directly into my intestines. This worked for a number of years until last year when I got COVID and my digestive system stopped entirely. I couldn't tolerate that feed, any water or any medications. But unfortunately, I still can't tolerate any enteral or oral feeding. That's why I have to be fed directly into my bloodstream. Question 2 asks, how can I still take tablets? I mentioned in my video that I take a multivitamin tablet instead of having the additives put into my bag. And the answer is simply that my digestive system is not 100% paralysed from mouth to bottom. I have a very small amount of movement. I'm still probably paralysed up in the 90%-ish, a bit more than that. So your gut moves things along very rhythmically and with a lot of power and a lot of strength, and it just works. My gut is very weak and lethargic and it'll think about it before it does something, and it holds on to food much longer than it should, and that's why I'm sick. But I regain a very small amount of mobility, so it can move tablets along and very small sips of water. Thankfully, the tablets are small enough that they don't trigger my vomiting, but I am still in pain when I take them. I'm used to that pain now and I hardly notice it. So question 3, you wanted to know if all of the bags are the same, and no, they're not. I have bags that are considered off the shelf, but sometimes when you're in hospital or if you've got specific needs, you've got what are called compound bags, and these are made up specially for you and they have to be kept in the fridge. Mine are shelf stable and just are delivered to me every 2 weeks. I have 2 types of bags. I have an lipids bag and I have an aqueous bag. You pop the bags and you mix all the nutrients together and it's ready to go. You have to pop the bags because you don't want the nutrients to mix together too soon and start chemically interacting with each other before they've got into your system. My bags are 2 litres and they contain about 2,000 calories as well. I get all of the nutrients that I need except the multivitamins. I take that in a tablet like I've said, but it's got all my protein and my fats in it and all my minerals, so I am good to go. And it's got all of my hydration in it as well, so I don't need to drink during the day. If I were to live a more active lifestyle than I currently do, then I would be put on bags that have higher calories in them. And the same can be said for if I fall pregnant, I would just have, again, higher calorie bags. If it's particularly hot outside, which, you know, I live in the UK, so very rare, I have litre bags of saline that I can hang during the day if I need extra hydration. I have 1 bag a day and I set it up in the evening, sort of around 7-8 o'clock at night, and it runs until about 8 o'clock again the next morning. The minimum time you can run these bags is 12 hours and the maximum is 24. I tend to run mine anywhere between 12 and 14 depending on what I'm doing the next day. When I disconnect in the morning, I am bag free for the rest of the day and I can carry on with my day as normal. You'll sometimes see people who have got bags that have got yellow bits in them, and they are the vitamins. Sometimes these are injected and sometimes they come already in the bags. Moving on to question 4, how much does it cost? I live in the UK, so I am very fortunate that all of my TPN is funded by the NHS, so it's free. The only things that I pay for are my oral medications, and I pay for those with a prepayment certificate that I buy at the beginning of the year, and that covers me for any prescriptions that I need throughout the year. I bet you think that I save a lot of money on groceries, but I'm married and my husband still has to eat, so I still have to buy groceries for him. And let's be real, we're in a cost of living crisis, people. Ain't nobody saving money on groceries at the minute. But yes, we are only buying enough groceries for 1 person. Question 5 is the question that I think I got the most, and it still keeps coming up. You guys are obsessed with my bowel habits and you want to know what happens there. So if I'm not eating anything, do I still go to the toilet? And I can't believe that I'm putting this on the internet, but yes, I do. I get 2 litres of fluid overnight, so I'm up a lot to pee, which is ridiculous. But I'm thinking of it as training for motherhood, you know, being up several times in the night, not getting a full 8 hours sleep. So yes, I have to pee, and I pee during the day like any normal person does. And yes, I still defecate, because your body still has to get rid of its normal waste that it makes, you know, blood cells, mucus, and it's processing all of the amino acids and the fats and everything. That's still got to come out somewhere, and it doesn't come out in my urine. The next question was about my line itself. And my line is called a Hickman line. It's a tunneled line. It goes under my skin, into a vein, and then up underneath my collarbone, and it sits just at the entrance of my vena cava. I can feel my line under the skin, and it's protected with a cuff made of scar tissue, and that keeps it in place. So if the line is tugged, it doesn't come out. I used to have a PICC line, which is one that went into my arm, but this was quite tricky having to do it myself. And I had to have long extension lines, and it was all just a bit fiddly. The risk of infection is higher with a PICC line, and it was much more difficult to shower. So in November last year, it was switched out for my Hickman line, and things are so much better. When it was first healing, I couldn't get it wet at all, so I had to shower over the side of the bath, and I had to wash my hair over the side of the bath, and have to do essentials washes at the sink. Then gradually, as it healed, I was able to go in the shower, and I used a dressing called a cath dry. So I would take off this dressing, I would apply that, and it's basically a condom for your line, and it keeps my long line protected from water. I'm not allowed to submerge the line in water. I think it's to do with sort of bacteria sort of building up in more stagnant, deep, big bodies of water, but going in the shower is fine. So now that it's properly healed, I can shower as normal, and I just go in with this normal dressing on, and the shower cleans me and the water just runs down the line. When I get out of the shower, I have to do a full dressing change, so I have to make sure I've got ample time after I've showered in order to do that. The cap on the end of my line gets changed daily, and the bung at the end of my line gets changed whenever I do a dressing change. I've got a very discreet dressing so that when I'm wearing tops like this, you don't even notice that it's there. The little patch that I've got underneath the dressing is called a bio patch, and that sits around the entrance to my site, and that is just an added layer of protection against infection. If I get an infection in or around my line, it can go into my bloodstream and quickly turn into sepsis, so I've got to make sure that this site is as clean as possible. When I do a dressing change, I clean it with alcohol. The line itself can stay in as long as I need it to. It's only changed if the line itself fractures, or if I get an infection in the line and the line can't be saved. I've had this one nearly a year now, and I've had no issues with it. Sports bras are great at keeping the line all contained, but on other days I tend to wear what's called a grip lock, and that works. It's like a little Velcro attachment that I just stick on my chest and open the Velcro, stick the line round, close the Velcro, and it just holds it in place. I still get cravings, and the answer is no, mostly. So I have never had a good relationship with food. It's always caused me pain, and then in the more recent years I've just been vomiting. And so now that I don't have to eat, I don't miss it. The only things that I do get cravings for are roast potatoes and instant noodles, but they're just mental cravings and I don't act upon them. It's not worth it for the vomiting and the pain and the seizures. You guys also wanted to know if I just chew food and spit it out, and again, no, because I have no desire to. I don't miss food, I don't miss eating. If you'd have known me these last few years, you would have seen just how utterly miserable food was making me. And now I don't have to do it. I have so much joy, and there's so much free space in my head now. So no, I don't chew and spit. I have no desire to. There's no need to. I don't miss eating. Along the same lines, you guys wondered if I could still drink alcohol, because I can drink small amounts of water and other fluids. And the answer is no. I think in theory I would be able to. I don't know if it's the case for everybody on TPN, but I can't drink alcohol because of the particular medications that I take. They're not designed to be mixed with alcohol. But I didn't drink before I was on the meds, and I don't drink now, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. That leads us nicely into question 9, which is about my social life and can I still go out, and what do I do when friends want to go for dinner or I want to go on a date. And I'm married and my husband is amazing. He has been my absolute rock through all of my hospital admissions and my illness. And again, he's one of these people that has seen how miserable food has made me, and now that I'm living a much freer life and I don't have to eat anymore, he just gets to enjoy the joy that I am giving off. We have learnt to become creative when it comes to going on dates together, and we just do things that don't involve food. The same can be said for my friends. We just don't do things that involve food, so they come to my house and we have a nice chat and we catch up and put the world to rights, and we just don't do things that involve food. If I happen to be in a social situation where food is around, like if we're at a party and there's like a buffet or there's food like that, that doesn't bother me at all, because the people I'm around know that I don't eat and there's no pressure on me, and it's genuinely just not an issue for me or for them anymore. I don't mind people eating around me, and one of my favourite things to do is bake. And I don't miss eating the things that I bake, but I love to bake for other people, so that brings me joy when I get to create something for them and they can enjoy it. If I want to go out at night, it's very simple. I prepare my feed as normal on my drip stand, and then I move it into the backpack. It stays in the backpack every day because it has to be protected from the light. The light can interfere with the amino acids and the minerals and stuff that's all in the bag, so I have to protect it from the light. But it being in the backpack also means that I can move around the house with it, because you can't really drag the drip stand around on carpets and up and down the stairs. So when I go out in the evening, we just hang this on the back of my wheelchair. The line is long enough that it doesn't get caught in anything, and I don't even notice that it's there. Your next question was about travelling, and can I travel with all of this? And the answer is yes. It's much easier to go travelling within the UK, mostly because we can drive to wherever we're going. And if I need any deliveries while I'm away, like if I suddenly run out of gloves or anything like that, the company can send them to me. If I want to go abroad, I contact the company beforehand and they send delivery to the airport or to the ferry port or wherever I'm going, and I get an extra baggage allowance for airplane holds. I just have to have a list of what I'm taking and all of my medications and whatnot, but yes, I can travel. I've not done it yet, so it's only in theory, but this is what I've heard from other people who travel and what my home care company have told me. The last question for today is about sleep and how do I sleep and what do I do with my line while I'm asleep. So like I said, I have 2 litres of fluid and I have to get up in the night to pee, but that's why it's handy that the feed is in my backpack and I can just take it with me and I pop it down the side of my bed. The line I don't get tangled in and I don't pull it while I'm asleep. The connectors between the feed line and my Hickman line are very robust. They're a twist connection, and the line between the feed line and the bag itself is very robust. It takes quite a good pressure to push it into the bag and it doesn't pull out again. So I don't pull on the line while I'm asleep, I don't tug on the line. If I roll over and I kink the line, the pump soon lets me know. It alarms. I wake up, I unkink it, I go back to sleep. I can't quite convey how revolutionary TPN has been over a video, but I am writing a book about it that I hope you guys will read in the fullness of time when it's done, and you will be able to get a greater understanding of just how much my life has been changed now I'm on this amazing IV nutrition. So that's all the questions I have for you today. If you have any more questions, please do let me know in the comments. Make sure you like it and subscribe, and please do share this video with your friends. I really want to get the message out there and educate more people about gastroparesis and being fed through TPN, because not a lot of people know about it. It's not widely known, and I would just love to share this information with as many people as possible. So until next time guys, see you later.